Explore, engage, exchange. It's the 21st century. Commerce is now truly global and increasingly virtual. The world is flat, and distance is no longer a barrier to finding cost-effective solutions in any field of business, technology, manufacturing, and medicine. In fact, the lack of geographic proximity and radical time zone shifts, once viewed as an entry barrier to the emerging one-world economy, can now be viewed as a considerable asset to well-managed companies of all sizes in the West.
The trip to India with the icStars alums has actually dramatically changed my view toward outsourcing. You know, I've felt somewhat guilty about the outsourcing trend and having personally contributed to it, but at the same time I was wondering, well, what can I do about it? Well, this trip gave me the glimmer of an idea of what I can do about it and what other CIOs can do about it. Namely, that there is an alternative, that there is not just the blind path towards outsourcing. There is an untapped pool of resources right here in our backyards, in our inner cities, that deserves to be, explored and utilized as much as we've been doing on the other side of the world.
The 2010 icStars trip to India provided 3 program alumni with a unique opportunity to test their acquired skills in the rapidly changing global marketplace for information technology. In the years to come, icStars will continue to pursue unique exchange opportunities that promote the continuing development of its program participants and alumni. But in a rapidly changing economic model for international business, how will we chart a course for the future? How does icStars forge a path for career placement and success within a new information technology landscape that is yet to be discovered?
I think that the idea of going to other countries, of really seeing the world and experiencing the world, and celebrating and honoring the diversity of getting things done is incredibly powerful. And so the opportunity to expand this program, to grow, to work with other countries and companies and alums is absolutely thrilling.
Lots of research has happened in the last 20 years around models of education, and it's become very clear that active learning or engaged learning, there's lots of buzzwords, constructivist learning, is all anchored in an authentic context. So we learn best when we're doing something that actually is relevant to our lives. And so a model of education has emerged called project-based learning, where especially in adult education, you can present learners in teams with authentic, real project problems that they have to work on. This is different than a case study model. This is an actual client who has a real need and can situate the learner in an authentic model of trying to really do the actual task. All instruction then is anchored to that context. So after someone makes a mistake or after they really are looking for the help or looking for the content, that's when you can provide direct instruction. And study after study after study shows that retention levels are far higher in that model because we're learning things at the moment we need them, as opposed to sitting back passively and just listening to presentation after presentation of content, which then all we do is turn around and regurgitate on a multiple choice test. A project-based learning environment says you succeed if you can actually finish the project and get good scores from your client.
Recession, unemployment, outsourcing. Despite the difficult economic times, it's important to consider offshoring labor trends from a perspective of holistic benefit rather than as a one-dimensional threat to employment security in the United States. During the 1990s, Western companies began outsourcing key business support services to India, China, and the Philippines. As a result of more liberal regulations and the resulting explosion of fresh economic activity, new companies and business models were founded in developing nations utilizing their local talents and resources. Greater corporate wealth was achieved, new middle-class economies emerged, and the Western companies that initiated this trend saved enormous amounts of operating capital, fueling a deeper integration of these services into their business models. Today, over 90% of all Fortune 500 companies deliver key services from 29 countries worldwide, including top performers India, China, and Malaysia. Increased economic power and the creation of a new middle class in these developing regions will ultimately result in an expansion of North American exports around the globe and the creation of more domestic jobs at all levels to meet export demand.
I think outsourcing technically, yes, has some negative consequences for the U.S. It does involve removing jobs from the U.S. and putting them in another country. That's kind of what it's talking about. At the same time, it's something I think that's been overused, and I think it's time for a return to balance. And I think that organizations like icStars offer a chance to restore that balance.
Teaching, training, networking.
What would be a good approach to remain profitable while still charging for the still getting a profit from the front end as well as long term?
Well, I guess a couple things come to mind. You could always take a percentage of the winnings, but I'm not quite sure how you would enforce that. Have you talked to the lottery directly?
We were in contact with them. We're waiting to get an appointment. It's kind of limbo right now.
Because I wonder if it would be of some value to them. Because the first question that came to mind when you started describing what it is, well, who's going to pay for? Who would pay for this?
Despite news headlines that report dwindling undergraduate enrollment in traditional professional programs at America's colleges and universities, an investment in educational paths geared toward computers and technology remain a solid value, with 94% of degree holders in the United States employed within their chosen field full-time. At icStars, we are actively developing new training models that will allow us to engage and partner with technology companies based in top outsourcing destinations around the world.
I think our unique or competitive advantage is that it's not just technology, it's also about leadership. And that, it would be somewhat easy to start a school that just taught hard skills in technology and even professional behaviors. But to really understand leadership as making opportunities for others and reciprocity, I think that we're bringing together this idea of being a leader in our community and being a leader in business.
I hope that this trip is just the first of many that icStars alums will take, not only back to India, but to other countries as well.
When Dave and I first started talking about this, we situated it in a larger strategic context of figuring out the jobs that are going to be needed here in the States that would provide reason for young people to go into technology. What came out of this opportunity was really a blueprint for what the future is going to look like. I see the next step being actually working with folks that we built relationships with in the context of this trip to start doing operations between icStars and a counterpart in India. From there, once we understand how that model works, we believe we can replicate it in other parts of the world. And so the vision here is truly a 24/7 global team of young people all working together that all have relationships and all understand the interdependence between them, as opposed to the I win, you lose kind of a model that's been told to them over the last 15 years.
At icStars, it is our goal for all program alumni to establish and maintain leadership ties with their respective communities while excelling as service providers in the area of information technology. Whether they may find themselves implementing technology applications in Chicago, Illinois, or supervising a team of entry-level programmers in Bangalore, India. The world is flat, The time is now. The opportunities are infinite. And we want you to join in our continued growth and development. Become a part of icStars. Visit our website at icstars.org or call 312-640-3450 to arrange a tour in high tea. icStars, your option, your partner, your resource for developing a new business paradigm in the 21st century global economy.